It's week 4. We're playing Tiger VGC this week. And per usual, they have a good team. So we're gonna see how it goes. And as you can see, we're jumping right in yet again. Week 4 challenge, cool. Not gonna keep you guys waiting per usual with all the, I don't know, 15-minute setup / delay stuff. So might be easier for people to just kick it off with the match right at the start, and then if you feel like dropping off because you're busy or whatnot, or don't care about the rest, then more power to you. No timer, beautiful. Hey, we're gonna challenge again. Let's see if what I was expecting here. We'll open up the third match real quick, and I'll do Spike Man before, yeah. And then I'll label. Rybombi is here. Okay, okay. Was expecting that. G2 and G1. To start whenever. Good luck, have fun. Okay, Rybombi, Hitmontop, Rayolu, Alone, Marowak, Dusknoir, and Tyrantrum. Okay, this is essentially the 6 that I was expecting. I was also maybe expecting Lantern. I was hoping it wasn't going to show up. Lantern is kind of hard to kill here, and also really annoying, considering I'm bringing 3 flying types again. So, Electricity, even with Lightning Rod on Rhydon, is would have been a problem. Specifically because, you know, any water move into Rhydon from Lantern can just immediately remove it, and then it can just start launching electric attacks. So, I don't know. I'm glad to not see it here. The lead that I'm expecting is probably Rybombi and Dusknoir are the 2 that I'm expecting, or maybe like Hitmontop, but like if you're running Intimidate, it might be kind of spooky. Because I'm gonna do this and this. In back, I was toying with whether or not I want Trick Room up. I don't actually mind if it goes up, because I think Rhydon looks really good here into this team. It's really hard to remove, especially with a lot of physical attackers. And now the tough part is, if I think Trick Room's coming up, do I bring Dragalge or do I go with Skarmory? Because Skarmory is also going to be extremely difficult to remove, especially if I get an Iron Defense up. This thing might be carrying Will-O-Wisp too, which would stop all of my physical attackers. I do think I go Skarmory and just run it, see what happens. Dusknoir, yep. Riolu. Oh, Lumberry Focus Ash. Oh, you know what I have. Interesting. Okay. Do I think this thing is Inner Focus or Prankster? Do I think it's going to be a coaching here? Or is this like Follow Me Trick Room? If it's Follow Me Trick Room, then this is probably Inner Focus. But honestly, am I fine with that? Do I think it's Eviolite or Sash? Let's... You know what? Which means Will-O-Wisp is probably not going to go into the slot, so he can not, she can not worry about that. I think I want to see what the item is. I want to see if it's Sash or not, and I do want to taunt the Dusknoir. Okay, no follow me. It is coaching, so it is Prankster. It's probably Eviolite. Okay, so not Sash. Okay. No Mental Herb. Dusknoir, no mental herb. Interesting. Okay, so Trick Room doesn't go up. I have speed control here. Foul play into this slot's really good. This thing does have a buff. I'm wondering if it's running Poltergeist. That would deal a lot of damage. Which means my Rhydon... underspeeds everything on his team, which is okay. He's pretty bulky. Do I want to just Brave? Ooh, that plus defense kind of spooky. Am I scared of Marowak at all? Not really that much. Foul play probably does like 50% into this. Okay, here's the plan. I have offensive pressure here. I don't really want to lose him on. Brave Bird. Encore into Trick Room, but it can't use it because it's taunted. It's kind of sick. What if I do this? I don't actually know if this works. It did fail. Okay. Poltergeist? We're just gathering information here, alright? Sometimes you gotta... I should have known that ahead of time, but I didn't. I'm still learning how Encore works. Braver. Ooh. Do I just go for KOs and ignore this thing? But how do I kill it if I don't? So he's trying to get rid of Zapdos here. I think I Brave Bird into the Marowak slot for damage, and then Foul Play into this slot for damage. Because Dusknoir is going to be hard to remove. Trick Room, Poltergeist. I also don't know what his item is. It could be leftovers if it's going to be like a bulky offensive variant. That deals a lot of damage. That deals a lot of damage. Poltergeist probably kills me at +1. Yep, makes sense. Oh, it's Life Orb. It's Life Orb. Okay. I think it's Life Orb, right? Yeah, it's Life Orb, okay. Interesting. That's something I'm gonna have to pay attention to. I probably outspeed these with Skarmory, but what does Skarmory really do here? Probably just kills this, right? Yeah, I'm bringing in Skarmory here to Drill Peck into 6%. That's gotta kill, right? Please. Please, Foul Play this. Might be Protect here. In theory, Skarmory has no speed investment, but I feel like if you're trying to run Trick Room, you're probably running min speed or at least no speed investment. Marowak, Dusknoir. Foul Play takes that out. Drill Peck should KO this. Okay. And then depending on its Hitmontop. And it's not Intimidate. Okay. Good to know. Honestly, I think the safe strat here is to Iron Defense. Do I taunt this? This could be Triple Axle. Triple Axle would be really bad, actually. Triple Axle does tons of damage. I'm gonna get an Iron Defense up. If it kills me, it kills me. I want to taunt this. Just in case. Mach Punch makes sense. Iron Defense, okay. It's probably Technician Triple Axle, I would imagine. Do I think Body Press does more than Stab Drill Peck with no... Let's just Body Press. And... Do I read the attack into this? Nah, it is Triple Axle. I should have protected. Okay, cool. Eviolite, busted. Body Press, big damage. Okay, cool. Alright. Okay. So Trick Room not going up didn't hurt me that much. Got this again, just to be safe. saved. Alright. Good luck, have fun. On to the next one. Now, what am I worried about here? I know Dusknoir doesn't have Mental Herb, which means I can freely taunt basically anything. What's a lead I'm scared of? Do they bring Ribombi into this? Because I know Ribombi can't be Life Orb. If it's just... I calc for modest max special attack into Zapdos to survive it with like barely anything, and dual Wing Beat should kill it unless it's running like max HP, max defense. But if it's running that, it's not running modest max special attack. So do I make an adjustment here? Skarmory still seem... Honestly, these two still seem really good. I'm gonna run it. Again. I'm gonna run it again and see what happens. Okay, so Ribombi and Hitmontop, yeah. This is probably... I would assume this is Technician. This can't be Life Orb. It could be Expert Belt. If it is Expert Belt, I do die. Can't fake this out. It's probably Shield Dust. Not Intimidate. Fake out. Do I want to test it to see if it has a boosting item? Or do I think this protects? I can fake this out. If this protects, I attack into it, does nothing. I could also just Brave Bird to hit him on top. Did we find out what moves it had? Lock Punch, Triple Axle, probably is protect. I don't... I'd rather get rid of the Ribombi first. I mean, it can't do anything to Skarmory, I guess. But Liepard kind of gets like torn up here. It could also be if they got, yeah, you know what? Let's do a Wing Beat into this slot and fake out the Hitmontop. Speed Swap! What the heck? That's what I get for running dual Wing Beat. So that means Hitmontop is fast as frick now, boy. And this thing's not. Which means I outspeed this, but this thing can... I was thinking Triple Axle. Do I read the Protect here, or do I think it's gonna attack into this slot? Can I... Oh, I can just taunt... Shield Dust, right? What if I taunt into this so it speed swaps again? Or is that gonna... I don't know how the targeting works on that. Let's find out. Yep, Triple Axle. Does it work again? Oh, it's Helping Hand. Oh, it's gonna Helping Hand again! Oh, that's so smart! How do I get out of this? That super fast Triple Axle is gonna be a problem. What the hell does Liepard do here now? All it has is a speed buff. Foul Play ain't gonna do nothing. This Ribombi kind of a problem. Triple Axle. Big defense stat. What if I double switch? Triple Axle into either slot's bad. Yeah, it just goes in. Big bulky Skarmory. Oh, I kind of tanked that. I can probably get a free Iron Defense up here. Rhydon will take a lot of damage, but we know it survives it. And I imagine even after Helping Hand is probably fine, right? Do I just go for Rock Slide damage? I think it's going to target in this slot. Probably, right? I feel like I need to attack before... I'll take the damage. Yeah, the switch is smart. So now left Rosie, like, okay. Big damage. Iron Defense up, feeling good. This thing being really fast is kind of a problem too. well, so let's see. 25, 30.2. I should live another one. Oh, that was before Iron Defense. Yeah, we're fine, we're fine. Trick Room Poltergeist. This could be Trick Room now. No, why would it be? This thing is so fast. Honestly, I think I just roost. Am I safe to... I think I'm safe to Swords Dance here. Ooh, flinch chances. Okay, we're fine. Hitmontop has Rock Slide. Okay. Okay. Alright, we tanked that. Right on flinches. That's unfortunate. But that's the nature of the beast. I'm gonna Iron Defense again. We haven't seen Taunt yet. Okay, good damage. Stat drop. Iron Defense again. Poltergeist, no crits. Okay. Okay. Swords Dance. Now we're schmoving. Alright, let's see. I'm on +4. Got that up. So 14-5. Close combat 14 instead of 31. I should be okay to... Oh, well he's faster. So roosting is fine because I'll roost before after the close combat. I think I just roost Earthquake, honestly. For big damage. I'm gonna roost into my own Earthquake! Oh no. Poltergeist missed is extremely lucky. I'm so dumb. Oh god. Whoops. It's yikes. It might be fine. We know Red Bombi's coming in here. I can't fake it out though. What else is coming in? Zapdos outspeeds everything but this. It's at full HP though. Yeah, I'm bringing Zapdos in. Okay, it is Marowak. I'd probably still outspeed Marowak. Or sorry, underspeed it without Dragoon Zoo, kind of a problem. Foul play into this thing's really good though, so... Am I... We haven't found Sash, have we? If I Brave Bird into that and it's Sash, we got a bit of a... Cause if... yikes. Do I go for the dual Windbeat just in case? I'm scared of missing, man. They could also just double into this slot. I'm gonna Brave Bird. Earthquake's really not even... Like, do I not care about Rock Slide miss? Earthquake is like guaranteed. Big damage at +2. Okay, Boomerang comes out, yeah. I have Sash. I think this is just my safe play. For the spread move, makes sense, yeah. And I just fell playing this lot. Alright. That got a little spooky there for a second. Holy crap, my heart's racing. That freaking Roost Earthquake play. Are you... I realized it too late. But that's fine. It's fine, but it's always something, man. It's always something. GG's to Tiger. So those 6 Mons were, I think, the best 6 that could have been brought, at least from my perspective. Let me go into, well, let me grab this real quick too. Just before I forget like a dummy. Okay. Okay, so these were the 6 that I was expecting. And based on the team comparison here, I knew Hitmontop with no, I mean, you could run Intimidate because, you know, my team is extremely physical, but like letting Zapdos get a buff just lets it eviscerate everything with Brave Bird in close combat. And even Dual Wing Beat at +1 does insane damage if you can hit both of them. And then Marowak under Trick Room outside of, I think it has base 45 speed, right? Yeah, so like the awkward matchup is you're probably not bringing Stunfisk into the mix, which means I have 2 Mons at underspeed their entire team, which I decided to bring. And Rhydon especially matched up really well into this team outside of Roserade and Lantern, who I didn't really expect Roserade to make an appearance just because I have 3 flying types, which is basically just destroys it. Which is one of the reasons I ran Drill Peck on Skarmory, because this thing has no physical defense at all. And then Lantern, I was a little scared of, because like Volt Absorb Lantern was the reason why I didn't want to really bring Magnezone, because it didn't, like it did damage into this team, but it wasn't as much of a threat as I think it needed to be, especially with like Lightning Rod and Volt Absorb, and then not like dealing tons of stab damage into the rest of the team. I didn't think it was really worth it. But Hitmontop with Technician, you know, Mach Punch and Triple Axle and stuff is pretty scary. This thing with Thick Club, which is what I'm assuming it had, does a ton of damage, especially into certain mods on the team. And then Bone Meringue, like, would just destroy Magnezone. Sturdy's irrelevant. Does a good chunk of damage. I think it did around half to Rhydon, and I have Defensive Investment and Eviolite with, what, base 130, 120 defense or something. Is, you know, the fact that it can still 2-hit it with Bone Ring is just bonkers. Just a testament to the power. This thing outspeeds my entire team. You can just run modest max special attack and max speed, and it still flies. And honestly, you wouldn't even have to run max speed with modest to outspeed my entire team. You could probably drop to, like, I don't know, 196 EVs or something. I didn't actually calc it out, but this thing was going to outspeed me regardless. I could have ran Scarf on some Mons. I felt like it was not optimal in case this thing ran Fake Out. And especially if Trick Room was going up, which I was like half expecting Dusknoir to be part of the mix with Trick Room, just to get the slow Mons rolling, like Alolan Marowak. So I didn't really want to invest in Scarf and lock myself in when I could detect in front of certain things. If Trick Room got up, or switch between moves like Brave Bird Close Combat if I needed to. Like if the Ghost types were out and I was locked into Close Combat, not a good look. So these 4 I was pretty sure were going to show up. Riolu has some neat tech, obviously, with like coaching, or Prankster coaching. Honestly, Inner Focus isn't even bad either if you want to lead it. This lead, Riolu would have been a good lead into anything except Zapdos, which is why I wanted to lead it, just to cover for it, because Brave Bird just kills it instantly, unless you run Sash. So like you could have run Inner Focus, Sash on here, I Brave Bird into it, it lives, still gets a coaching off, because I have to double into it, and, you know, well, I guess if I just run like Fake Out into it to check, and then Brave Bird covers both options, but then you have like Follow Me tech that you can do with Inner Focus, so that it still gets the move off. So there was, I don't know, there was a mixed bag there, but it doesn't really want to see Zapdos, which is, you know, I mean, a lot of things don't want to see Zapdos, but I wanted to lead Zapdos just in case for this. And Brave Bird Close Combat is such a good lead into this entire team. So that was one of my thoughts in leading it, just to cover for some of the mons that I was expecting. And then Tyrantrum does a ton of damage and is very physically bulky. I'm assuming the reason it wasn't brought was because Close Combat, Foul Play, or Rhydon, like Rhydon kind of walls it, and then especially Skarmory, if I get an Iron Defense up, is really difficult to remove, which is probably the case in a lot of scenarios, but Still, this thing has a monstrous attack stat and really good defense with a not bad HP stat either. So this is kind of like another Rhydon type mon, except Rhydon doesn't get head smash, but this thing does. So I was a little worried about head smash just into my team, just dealing huge damage, just like massive physical damage, especially like even just neutral on Skarmory before Iron Defense goes up, because this thing outspeed its base speed I think is 1 higher than Skarmory. Yeah, 7170. That does a lot of damage. So if you like double into it when I'm just Iron Defensing, if you can kill it before I get one up, this is toasted, and then it's just like a wasted slot. So these were the 6 that I was preparing for. I did minorly prepare for Roserade and Lantern as well, but Roserade's matchup into my team is not great, like I said before. It hits some mons for massive damage, like Rhydon, Kingler, but outside that, it doesn't really like grass into this team is not good. And then Poison also is I'm immune to 2 of my mons are immune to it. So, you know, you could just like run Sleep Powder or something, or Stun Spore if you want to like speed control and stuff. But I wasn't really expecting it to make an appearance. I didn't expect Stoutland to make an appearance. No Sandstorm to have to worry about like Sand Rush without manually setting it, and then Stunfisk Dragonair. I didn't really expect to make an appearance because I feel like if you're gonna run Dragonair, maybe you want to run Eviolite. And if you're running Eviolite and Dragonair, you're not running it on Riolu, unless you want the sash for that. But I don't know. I just made a read that these mons weren't going to make an appearance, other than Lantern. Lantern was the 7th mon that I was kind of scared of, just based on like my damage output into it outside of Rhydon. But like if Trick Room's not up, like any water move just kills him. So I was a little nervous, but I was happy to not see it show up. So. But this is a very interesting team. It's got a lot of synergy in ways that I didn't really expect until I started like looking into the team. Like Helping Hand into any of these mons is good. Red Bombi not being able to flinch and being extremely fast makes it a really good lead. Speed Swap I hadn't even considered as an option, even though I had once looked at Red Bombi during the draft. So, you know, that Speed Swap tech was really cool for Triple Axel, because Triple Axel in the team that I brought was pretty scary. So, I'm just lucky I had some physical tanks that could eat up hits. So, but yeah, I agree with the 6 mons that were brought. The problem is that the best 6 mons were the ones that I was expecting, so I was able to prepare for it. So, which I guess is just kind of how it goes. Like, I feel like seeing Zapdos Liepard on my team is pretty standard at this point. I'm pretty sure I've brought them both every week. Just double checking. Yes, I've brought both of them every single week. I don't think there are any other mods I've brought every single week yet, though. I say yet as if it can ever happen at this point. But yeah, I don't think. Did Sigilyph come every week? No. Okay. Yeah, Zapdos and Liepard are the only 2 mons on my team that I've brought every single week. And, you know, being my first and second round pick doesn't really, you know, it's not really surprising, just because Zapdos deals Mondo damage and then Defiance great ability, and then Liepard has just a ton of utility with Prankster, and then also Foul Play into all the physical mons that are prevalent in this format, among other things. You know, this thing is really good, and it's my fastest mon, so sometimes I feel obligated to have some sort of speed on my team. So, you know, my top 3 fastest mons, 2 of them are my first 2-round picks, so, you know, they're pretty much a staple on the team at this point. I would be hard-pressed to find a week where I don't want to bring either of them, or both of them for that matter, so 2 of the slots will probably always be filled with them, just because they're so good. But yeah, so I basically just built around these 6 mons. So, but we'll look at ooh, do I want to look at this? Nah, you guys can see the base. Let's look at it here, because it'll get posted anyway. But so Skarmory was the first mon that I added to the team. We've been seeing a lot of Iron Defense Body Press going ham in the format, so especially on our good friend Registeel. So I just figured I'd keep it the same. This is the same set I ran last week. I actually think it's the exact same set too for moves, which I had changed last week from the prior week, but yeah, this is an identical set. Which, like, when you have Iron Defense, Body Press, massive physical defense stat, and you see mostly physical attackers on the opponent's team, kind of just can kind of just go off. So this set is probably going to be a staple. Drill Peck and Roost are the two moves that are variable depending on what I see on the opponent's team week to week. But Iron Defense, Body Press, big surprise, woohoo! And then you got Sigilif, who I did bring this week again. Sigilif has been on, I think, most of my teams so far, just as an option. This thing has insane utility. It's got a pretty crazy move pool. But this is the first week where I've opted to not run Tinted Lens and to run Magic Guard instead of Life Orb. The reasoning behind that was that there were no Psychic resists on the entire team, so I didn't really see the benefit of running Tinted Lens when Stab, Life Orb, Psychic would just... There's no resistances, so I don't need Tinted Lens anyway. So this was just an option for big damage, and I also wanted a Trick Room on just in case I wanted to set it myself based on how Game 1 went, or also reverse it if, depending on the mons that I brought, if I needed to remove it. So Sigilif's not the most tanky mon, so like a Poltergeist from Dusknoir would just kill it. But outside that, it's EV to live any non-super effective strong moves. Like Poltergeist, Head Smash would both kill it, but like Dragon Claw from Dragon Claw wouldn't kill it. Any move from Red Bombi wouldn't kill it, like a Moonblast that would survive. And then I would just deal pretty solid damage back into it. I think it 2-Kos most mons on the team, just because Stab Psychic with no resistances, plus Life Orb, and 204 EVs invested into a 103 special attacks, that's pretty good. So this was just meant to be either a Trick Room setter and damage dealer, but I didn't really see the need to bring it, especially based on what I saw. On Tiger's team, I didn't feel like it was necessary to bring this, and I didn't think it would tank the hits necessary for it to be as useful as I would want it to be compared to the other mons on the team. And then Lipard this is the same set from last week. Focus Sash Prankster, and then Fake Out Foul Play Taunt Encore. So the taunt was for...
He said, she said, she wants a she shed.
What
Pottery
is
studio,
this?
chicken coop. Imagine that. Visit carefreebuildings.com. It's all right here.
Carefrees.
That was Pikalytics. You guys just got a free ad. Ridiculous. I shouldn't have kept it open. Of course, that was also the one... Oh, that was the first commercial I've heard from it today. I've had it open like all day, I think, since this morning, and of course that's the first time I've heard it play an ad. So, lucky me, lucky you, lucky them. Free advertisement? I don't even know what it was for. I love how loud it was too. But anyway, after that beautiful distraction, yeah, so this set's really good. Specifically for Dusknoir, I wanted a way to taunt turn 1 to remove the mental herb, and then if it Trick Rooms turn 1 and I don't want it up, I encore it turn 2, because that way I actually can. Because I had to double check before the match today. I couldn't remember if mental herb was absorbed to remove the encore, and it was, so I needed a way to remove it turn 1, but then also be able to stop or reverse Trick Room turn 2. So forcing it to Trick Room on turn 2 after taunting it turn 1 by encoring it would allow me to reverse Trick Room if I thought that was going to be a problem. Granted, like if it worked game 1, game 2, the adaptation is to just kill Lipard at turn 1 so that taunt goes into mental herb, and then I can't encore turn 2, or switch it out after Trick Room in turn 1. So there's definitely counterplay to this, but I wanted a way to deal with it in one game just as a countermeasure to be prepared. And plus taunt is just really good off of Prankster. So no mental herb was really nice to see, because then I didn't have to worry about doubling in to that slot for 2 turns in a row, and Lipard was free to foul play into certain slots, or encore other things, or taunt other things even. So utility on this mon is really nice, and so far encore Fake Out has been, and taunt has been a really nice combination of moves. And then Rhydon is back again this week. It's been, how long has it been? Didn't bring it. Week 1 was the last time we saw Rhydon. And I know what you're thinking. It's because of the lightning rod play. And I was so mad at him. But that's not the case. I just didn't really think the matchup, he had good matchups into the prior two teams against Mono and Terminal. I think they just kind of just washed him. So I didn't think he was worth bringing on the team. Usually if I see a team that I think I can wall Mons with, I'll consider bringing Rhydon in. Because Eviolite plus big defense stat and then defensive investment means this thing is extremely difficult to OHKO, or even 2-hit KO is still difficult to remove. Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to run Swords Dance this week, just for big damage. Because after Swords Dance, Earthquake, also, there was only one ground resist on this team as well, which was Rybombi, who still gets, I think, 2-hit KO'd by this EV spread, Brave Nature, Earthquake anyway. So Earthquake next to my any of my 3 flying mons, or just deals insane damage, and I don't have to worry about, Rock Slide misses and whatnot, just because Earthquake is 100% accurate. So and also stab. Both of these moves are stab. So this set, I was looking forward to running Swords Dance, because normally I feel like Rhydon doesn't really get the time to set up Swords Dance, especially if he's not in Trick Room. But as we saw, game 2. Yeah, game 2. He didn't have the stat boost here. So it was game 2 that I got the Swords Dance off, which let me just deal massive damage and also kill my own +3 Skarmory after roosting, which tells you how much damage Swords Dance Earthquake does. So that was interesting tech. I'm glad I got to run Swords Dance on it. Varying up the rock and ground move on Rhydon is pretty important week to week, because sometimes I don't want to run Earthquake if I'm only gonna have like one flying mon on the team, or if Rock Slide I feel like doesn't deal enough damage and we're not in Trick Room, I might opt for Stone Edge for more damage, and I guess crit potential, but more so for big single target damage. And then this move is variable depending on what I think the matchup could turn into. But for this week, I only needed the 2 stab moves and then Swords Dance. So I was pretty happy to see it at least pan out once. And I don't know if I'll bring it again, but we'll see. Matchup depend. Zapdos, I originally was going to run the Fairy Resist Berry. Was it Roselli Berry, I think, is what it's called? Because modest max special attack Rybombi outspeeds it and had a really, really high roll to KO it with these stats, or with my prior set, but I opted to reduce attack from 252 down to 196, and then EV it to survive an unboosted modest max special attack Rybombi. Just because I wanted to run Lumberry in case Dusknoir ran Will-O-Wisp, so, and I know I taunted it, but I was worried about Mental Herb, so like even if it didn't Trick Room turn 1, it could have just Will-O-Wisped instead after Mental Herb cured the taunt into this slot, which has my attack, and then this thing is not OHKOing anything, and then Mons that it should be KOing with Brave Bird, it's not anymore, which becomes a really big problem. So I wanted this just in case, and I also wasn't sure if Rybombi was going to run like Stun Spore or something for paralysis. Not that I think running a 75% accurate move is, in like banking on that paralysis is the best idea, because like skill swap is strictly better if you're trying to outspeed something, because it's already faster than most mons in the format. But I was nervous about either paralysis or burn into this slot, so I wanted to make sure I had an answer for that, and I feel like giving up the attack EVs to make sure that I could survive a stab, max special attack Moonblast was more important. And also like Will-O-Wisp or Stun Spore into this slot would just be a wasted turn. Well, it gets rid of my item, so is it really wasted? But if Poltergeist was Dusknoir's main form of attack, then it can no longer use Poltergeist in this slot. So unless it had a different move to attack with, it wouldn't be able to hit Zapdos anymore. So there were a couple reasons that I wanted to run Lumberry this week instead of, I guess Roselli Berry could have been absorbed as well to eat a fairy move, but I don't know. I was more afraid of status this week, so I wanted to make sure I preserved this. But, and it's EV'd for speed to outspeed everything else on their team. Yeah, so base 90 and below. So the only mon that I was going to get outsped by was Rybombi, which allowed me to have enough EVs to invest in defenses to survive hits. So that was nice. And then Dragalge, who was on the team again this week, but didn't make an appearance again. Just because matchup-wise, it's like good, but Triple Axel from Hitmontop was a big fear of mine. And then also massive physical damage from Dragon Claw from Tyrantrum would have been devastating. But given the right circumstances, I wanted to run White Herb. Adaptability, I feel like, is always going to be the ability. Plus Draco Meteor, so I can use it twice without having to worry about my stats dropping the first time. Or Stab Sludge Bomb. And then also kind of like Swords Dance on Rhydon, I wanted a way to sort of protect it just in case. Granted, I think Triple Axel would actually still just destroy me. Because I'm assuming the first one probably, after Technician, probably still breaks sub, and then the subsequent 2 hits probably just destroy me anyway. But outside that, like without Triple Axel, a free substitute would allow me to survive a free hit for the next turn. Or just minimize the damage I take for turn 1 under Trick Room. But based on how game 1 went with Trick Room not really being relevant, I didn't really want to bring this, because if it's not moving first, it's probably not worth bringing in a lot of scenarios. But again, that'll be matchup dependent. But for now, I didn't think it was worth in game 2 to bring. So, and I guess that ended up being the correct decision, because had this been Dragalge at the end, probably would have not ended so well. So, and also doesn't sit well next to Rhydon because it's forced to protect. Otherwise, it just dies to Earthquake. So that was another synergistic thing that I needed to be aware of. But again, I'm going to try and keep this pretty short. It's not that short. We're at 42 minutes. But I'll wrap it up there. So thanks again for chilling. GG's again to Tyler. That's week 7. Tiger VGC. My apologies there. Again, another good team. I say this every week, but everybody really does have a good team to bring into the week, and it really just comes down to what the matchup ends up being 6v6, and then which 4 you bring. So I think the matchup that I got a little bit lucky that all 6 mons I was expecting showed up this week. So it's never it's not always gonna be going to plan. So especially the next 3 weeks are gonna be rough, I think. Because I gotta face, where my next 3-week opponent? I got Samax, Braff, and then Tyler. So we got some tough matches ahead. Just like every match this season is not easy, but we'll take it 1 week at a time. So, but yeah, thanks again for chilling, and I'll see you guys again soon. Peace.